In this video, we are going to discuss Benjammin, full-time NFT traders trading strategies, how he maneuvers in the market, and all things NFT market in February 2022. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice. We're definitely not financial advisors. The NFT space is incredibly risky, so always do your own research. Benjammin, great to have you on the show, buddy. Wanted to talk about your trading strategies. You're a full-time trader. You're very active. Would love to pick your brain about how you think through trading in the NFT market.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure. Love you guys. We've been chatting it up for a long time, even met in person. It's always good to kick it with you. But yeah, man, I've been doing this. I've been in NFT since 2017, but more primarily since last January with Top Shot. So I started going full time in April, and now I work in NFTs full time. I trade, I consult, I build projects, I do it all, and I enjoy every second of it.
You had a monster January. I think that the biggest home run that I know of was Creeps. How did you know to kind of hold that? How did you think through, that I guess you can call it a trade, although it almost feels like that one's a lot more than a trade. Like, could you just walk us through that one and then maybe your kind of broader trading strategy?
Hi, by the way.
Hey,
Hi,
Nick.
what's up, Nick?
Thanks for coming, Nick.
Hey, yeah, no problem. I'm glad to be on your guys' show. It's really exciting to be here.
Thanks for joining us, man. But yeah, so with Creeps, first of all, I know the guys who are working on the project. I also know the advisors, Josh and Von Doom, and I was talking with the founders for a while about the project early on, and just really loved what they were doing. And so they really broke it down and told me their plans. And for me, it was an easy hold. Unfortunately, I missed the mint like an idiot. I was waiting for it and missed it just because things get so crazy sometimes. But yeah, so I have one Genesis Creeps. I sold a couple on the run up. I held one. So my strategy with pretty much everything from the beginning is typically buy at least 3 of something to be able to sell 1 or 2 to get my money back, and then the last one it's an easy hold because it's essentially house money.
Well, that's just making straight cash. So congratulations on that. We try to do that around here, most recently unsuccessfully, but that's why we bring people like yourself onto the show so that we can actually learn how to do that. Where are you calling us from today, by the way? Because it looks like you're in a, well, I don't know what that is. It looks like a hill behind you. What's that location?
Well, as you can tell from my not wide enough green screen and my head coming off there, I'm actually in my office, but that is the Dizzy Dragon Dizzy Den that Rob Levy, our co-founder, created. If you could see, there's the entrance
Oh,
to
there
the
we
den.
go.
Yeah, it's the landing page of our site.
The Dragon's Den.
Yeah, the Dizzy Dragon's Den, exactly.
Very nice.
I love that. So we're going to actually have to pitch you on some of our ideas here.
I love it.
Like the Dragon's Den. So I got this NFT idea. No,
There's so many. There's so many of them, right?
So I'm sort of wondering at this point. So Creeps was your biggest win. You'd mentioned another one.
That was a win.
Yeah, there were a bunch of them.
There were a bunch. Well, real quick before we move on from Creeps, so you have that one last Creep. You're earning the token, right? That's like part of the deal with Creeps is the Lumi token. Like, do you feel like there's more room to run with that? Like, what's kind of the play from here?
Yeah, well, so the way that their ecosystem works is they have their Genesis Creeps, which yield 1,800 Lumi per day. And then they released the Armory, which each one of those yields 600 Lumi per day. And then after that, they released something called the Vault and these avatar style shapeshifters. And so all of the Lumi generating NFTs are actually in circulation already. And there's going to be a deflationary mechanic. So right now with the NFTs of shapeshifters, at least, if you get 5 of each of the same type, you can burn them to create a mega. And whenever people are going to withdraw their Lumi from the bank, there's a 25% tax that goes to, I believe it's the overlord. And so that tax gets distributed a percentage among the people who have those megas. So there's incentive for people to burn. And then there's also going to be other drops coming in the future that you're going to be able to use Lumi on. I sound like a fucking spokesman for the project right now.
No,
It's a good project. I love it.
You're just explaining it, man. I'm asking you the questions. And so you're definitely not going to sound like a spokesperson here because I'm putting you on the spot. But like, you know, this thing ran up to 9 ETH, I believe was the top, or maybe it was towards 10. You'd know better than me. And now it looks like it's pulled back a bit to 4.59. Is that like, would you buy this here in any universe, or like, is it too uncertain?
Yeah, so I definitely, if I had no exposure to it and you have the funds to do so, then yeah, it's something that you can take a stab at. But I would say that like I wouldn't go out of my way to personally sell a bunch of things just to accumulate ETH to buy in and have my only position being in that. So if you can afford that, yeah, it's a good ecosystem. I like what they're doing. They're bright guys. They have long-term plans. They have a bunch of different cool utility and mechanics. And so I like it. I didn't plan to sell my creeps even when went up to 9 ETH. The Lumi token was at 60 cents at one point, and now it's, you know, under 10 cents or so. And I'm, you know, it's a project where if I was just starting out, if this was February of last year, I would have sold at 9. I would have sold everything pretty much. I would have held on to some things like the Genesis creeps. The thing is, like with the armories, when you stake those for yield, you have to have a creep in order to yield from the armory. So they have a cool different ways that things funnel back into each other. But yeah, like if I saw 9 ETH last February, it would have been out of my wallet real quick.
Yeah, and I guess just one last thing on this is the way I look at this one is it feels like among the most legit, if not the most legit attempt at a staking dynamic on Ethereum that we've seen. So there's almost like a gold standard on Solana. It's a project called Boryaku Dragons. They have their follow-up Baby Boryaku. So it's like a very similar sort of structure to Creeps. And that one seems to be just going well. It just seems to be legit. People buy into it because they're like, oh, well, in a couple of months through the staking, it's going to pay for itself, even though it has a high price tag. And I don't know the founders of that. I don't know what's sort of backing that one, but people definitely seem to be convinced that that's worthwhile and that that's going to stick around. And when I look at this one, I almost feel like this is the first example of that on Ethereum. I would have said Wolfgame is, but Beanie's involvement with Wolfgame kind of gives it a little bit of a black eye to a lot of people, including me, I think. I mean, I could be totally wrong about that, but that's like what I'm trying to figure out with this one is like,
why don't we ask the co-founders of Creeps when we have them on the show on Tuesday? Because then we can have the Creep show.
Yeah. All right. Jesus.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
Oh
like,
God.
why not?
All
why
right.
not do it then? Like, we're gonna have Creep Show A, then we're gonna have Creep Show B. It's only the Creeps channel. Hey, thanks for. If you're interested in following other NFT advice, smash that subscribe and lick the like button. This is the Creeps channel moving forward. Thanks.
All right. Anyway, let's move on. All right. So is it the Super Gucci that you bought, Ben, that you crushed on?
Yeah, that one was a fun one.
So how did this one go?
So I bought these super janky NFTs a couple months back in December, and I think I got them for around 0.02 each.
Yeah,
something like that.
Probably where I was selling them.
0.02. Why would you even sell any? Why would you listen? Hold on. Why would you sell anything at 0.02 ETH? What's the point?
Well, at the end of last
harvesting.
year, yeah, last year was taking tax losses, but on Super Janky, that was
take tax losses on bad things.
That was a stupid. It was a stupid move. I'm just letting you know, and I'm being transparent.
I appreciate you.
That this was a bad trade on my part. So continue and tell us what the other side looks like and how much like cash you're sitting on right now underneath you that's holding you up and carrying you so high.
Welcome to Nick and Pio's PTSD session. Yeah, so I got a few of these things, maybe 5 or so around like 0.02, and I should have aped in harder. I just really didn't have, a lot of knowledge about it, but I was like, oh, these are cute, they're cheap, bought into them and kind of forgot about it. sold a few around like 0.5 or 0.6 or so, and then held the rest. So I still have 2, and holding on to these got me these pills that they released as well. These head trips NFT PFPs, and then also gave me access to being able to mint that Super Gucci project. And so in the past, I never really would spend as much as I did on this project, but I have had a really good start to the year so far. Even excluding how well 2021 was. But so this was a 1.5 ETH mint, but this is being run by Jankies and Gucci, like the actual corporation Gucci. The designer designed it, and I think it's the creative designer of Gucci or something like that. But he put it together. There's only like 500 of them or so. So I didn't really even expect to get one. It was at 10 a.m. a few days ago, and I was sitting on the website just kind of waiting for it. I see that you need a password, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't spend any time grinding in the Discord. I don't know what the password is. So I go in there and I look, and people are talking about it, and I'm just like refreshing the page, hard refresh. I always hard refresh whenever I'm doing stuff that has to do with like Web3 and connectivity. Hard refresh is Control-Shift-R, or instead of just refreshing the page. So it's like clearing the cache also. And so, doing that, I saw it just opened up the store at like 10:00:01, like right away. I just kept refreshing. The store opens. I'm like, oh shit, there's 3 of them, 3 different types, and there's 50 of each. And so just game theory wise, I'm like, all right, everybody's going to go for the first one and then going to go for the second one. So I'm going to do the exact opposite and go for the last one. So I went for the last one. Everybody's trying to go for the first 2, sold out. I put my gas on high. I got it. And then I look, and the floor is up to 12, and like right after the mint. I'm like, oh shit, like I should probably sell this. That's a great come up. And then I think I honestly just like went to go make coffee or something. And I come back and it's the 70th floor. I'm like, oh, that's fun. Well, maybe I should think about selling here. But I've already seen people were willing to buy at 12, 13, 14, 15, and there's plenty of volume. So fuck it. I'll just take a step back and see where it goes. A few hours later, floor goes up to 20. People are buying it. There's super volume. It's not just one person list, nothing else is listed, and that's what the floor is. Like people are buying at that. So I listed at 25 just to try and capture some of that volume, and then I see, well, it's at 20. It's kind of coming down to 19 a little bit, and I thought it was overextended. So I listed at 17 ETH, and then pretty much went to bed. Woke up at 4 or 5 in the morning, like I usually do. Checked my emails and saw that item sold email that gives us butterflies every time, no matter what it is, and happened to be a really good sale and a great start to, I don't know if that was January or February, but a great start to 2022.
It's a great start to your day, I'll tell you that much. And so when you wake up and you're like, well, I just made what many people's salary is by in about 24 hours, I feel pretty good about that. Question about that. So you said you high gassed it. When you high gas, like what do you set? You just adjust GUI to like 1,000, or what do you do?
No, you know how it's like low, medium, and high, or low, medium, fast, whatever it says. I just, whatever the third option is, I just always click that.
So Nick was looking for a more advanced response there, and Ben just gave him an out of the box. Like, nah, I click on the high button.
I click fast. I click on the speedy option.
I'd rather be fast with the button than take even those extra seconds to add gas on the back end, because if I'm not going to get it right away, I'm not going to get it at all. So I'm just going to put it in there. If I put up a really high gas, then like, it'll be pending in there, but who knows what the cancellation fee will be and stuff like that.
You can set where do those buttons show up on MetaMask?
Oh, you know what? I did this so long ago that I completely forgot that you have to customize it. But when you go to MetaMask, you can go to settings. So like if you click on that, the extension, and then you have the little circle on the top right, then you go to settings, and then I believe it's advanced. Let's see. Yeah, advanced, and then advanced gas controls.
Yeah, I have those turned on, but it doesn't show when I end up looking at it. That's where I usually end up having to click edit. So you're telling me on yours that it shows a high, medium, and low?
Well, it'll come up if you click that edit right there.
Yeah.
Then then you do the high, medium, low. But
Oh,
I
interesting.
don't
Okay.
even waste time trying to figure out what to put the gas, what to do. I just go click it, boom, and like I'm trying to just be there as fast as possible, not necessarily put the fastest gas as
Yeah.
possible.
Which is definitely the way to go because, obviously, the Ethereum network processes at least goes over those things sequentially. So they don't start at the end. They look at whatever the highest is of the pool at that moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Basically.
get in the first available block, not
Yeah.
necessarily be the highest gas in the next block.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good strategy for most people that are trying to basically participate in a gas war. I think that you do have to set a manual like 1,000 gwei or something like that, and then probably do the priority fee, which is the second setting. So in other words, you're tipping the miners so that you have a higher place in the queue. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like Ben's all over it with the hard refresh, being there right as things kind of turn. So that makes sense too.
Something that's crazy this morning, unrelated to this, is that MetaMask is down because it's based on the Infura API, and the Infura API is down right now. I don't know that we've seen that happen recently, so that's always fun. This time it's not OpenSea's fault.
Yeah, but I mean the two most fucking popular things that we use in NFTs are garbage. Like OpenSea's down all the time, and MetaMask you can't even really use from your phone. Like I honestly like if I'm trying to mint something from my phone, like I'm gonna have a bad day. Like if I'm not around my computer and I have to mint from my phone, like it's so fucking frustrating. Even to just buy something off secondary, like there's gonna be fixes, and that's just kind of how early we are in that. Like the UI isn't great, the experience isn't great, and so there's competitors coming, there's funding, there's so much fucking funding coming into crypto and NFTs. It's hard to explain to people who aren't seeing the news and the funding and like talking with the people. Like there's just rounds going around, people throwing money at any idea just because there's competent people, like the resumes of the people coming into this space and the projects that they're working on, the visions is just, yeah, I used to do this and now I'm working on this. Like, oh, fuck. All right. Well, you worked at that Fortune 500 company and now you're building this cool idea. Here's $1 million.
Yeah, if you worked at Facebook or Google, or if you sold a business before, that was how we got in. So we raised $1 million plus the NFT drop. But there's so much money right now, it almost seems like, well, we should figure out a way to 5 million or 10 million ASAP. Because if this market's going to go down, which inevitably at some point it does, in some way, you end up at least with a liquidity crunch. I don't think NFTs go away. I just think that there's temporary squeeze on all this. Anyways, outside of that, two things. One, a commenter was asking about the hard refresh on Mac. Yeah, it's Shift Command R if you're in your browser for Mac. And then the other thing was someone asked if I was day drinking. This is tea. I have one of these high-end, tea things. This is how I take my caffeine. I prefer a green tea, if you're wondering, and that's some ultimate alpha for you right there. This is a mint green tea is how that's
I figured you for a bubble tea kind of guy.
I do like boba tea. There's just not one that's close to me for me to walk over actually there is. I just, it's easier to make this at home. So I just put hot water in it, and that's how we go about making cash in NFTs.
NFT time. All right. Well, anyway.
NFT time. There we go.
You got a DoorDash, so you don't have to walk there.
So you DoorDash boba tea?
I don't drink boba tea.
Okay. I mean, it's just... So, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this out right now. I'm going to try out Seamless while we're on this call. Get a boba tea delivered to me. The problem is they put in also milk into a lot of the teas, and I can't take milk. So,
well, Nick, you can't be DoorDash and boba tea unless you sold some super Gucci for 16 ETH in 24 hours or whatever. But
no, it turns out, Pio, you can. You actually can. And so the way that I do that is I load the app. This is Seamless, and then I place that order. Additional NFT alpha for you there.
Very nice.
Let's move on.
Well, I wanted to ask Ben because he brought up open, like kind of a little bit of, concern about OpenSea's longevity. Did you stake your Looks Rare after you got it airdropped to you? And if so, are you still staking it?
Oh yeah, I staked it and I bought a bunch to stake more too. And then every time that I claimed WETH for the first like 3 weeks, I rolled it right back into the looks and just staked those. So I all the looks that I was generating and yielding was being auto staked and auto compounded. And then the WETH that I was getting, I was also putting back into the looks to auto compound. And now I've just been sitting on it, waiting for the rewards to have, and then the wheat that I have generating in there, I'm probably gonna withdraw that and then buy more looks after that happens once the price goes down a lot.
Big brain on this guy. Meanwhile, me and Nick and Speculator all sold it after staking it for a little bit. You're bullish on this thing long term, because it's crazy that it's pushed $6 a couple of times. Like, it's so gnarly to think about. It was ping pong in between 2 and 4 for a while, but it's gotten as high as 6. I think it might be trading towards 5 right now. You think that this has more room to run?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and listen, it's not even in the sense of I'm buying at 6 so it goes to 12, but the rewards that you get and the participation in this ecosystem, like I want to be a part of that. And so, I'm buying and selling on there and you get rewards back for doing so. And when others are doing it, you're getting more rewards for them doing it. So it makes sense to at least put as much of my participation as possible on there, as well as hold the looks, because like we all shit on OpenSea, right? Like I love OpenSea. It's really what's made all of us, right? Like without OpenSea, we wouldn't be where we are. But like they're the next hell now, and we need Apple to come out. And right now, what we've seen is great customer support with looks. We've seen features that don't exist on OpenSea. I mean, it took them like 3 years to make a watch list. Whenever you need something on Looks Rare, they're like asking questions in the DMs. There's just so much upside to this. I think that, it's not just a thank you for the free money kind of play, but, there's vision behind it. And then when you think about the fact that, I'm creating a PFP project and I can choose you to mint in ETH, or what if I decide you to mint in looks? And now that becomes valuable. And if you have X amount of looks, maybe it's cheaper for you to do so than minting in ETH or whatever. But there's people doing that with SOS already. So why wouldn't it be done with looks, which is a marketplace? So yeah, I'm bullish on it. I mean, Dingaling is someone who doesn't sell anything, and this guy is behind it. He's pushing it. He's the face of it for the most part. And just because there's a lot of wash trading, that doesn't really mean a lot to me in the long term. Just because if people are going to be buying and selling on here, there's going to be wash trading, there's going to be that, but at a certain point it becomes minus EV for them to do so. So if that's happening now, which the fact that it's happening now doesn't mean that that's what the entire basis of the platform is going to be.
The fact that hasn't crippled, the fact that it hasn't crippled the platform to me is quasi bullish. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I posted a tweet about it the other day, which actually, I don't remember the exact stat, but basically 92% of all their trading was wash trading. But I was like, well, if 8% of it is real trading, then basically they've done more volume than all of the other secondaries outside of OpenSea did in all of 2021. So that's like the volume that's being done on LooksRare. Right. So they're putting up a very strong competition here.
And Nick, you can't even sweep on there yet. You can't use Genie or Gem yet. So like I would have been sweeping on Looks Rare this whole time if I was able to.
They do have an API. I'm looking at their documentation right now. I also noticed that I forget what it is. Crypto Slam was interacting with them and collecting a bunch of data, but I haven't been able to find whether or not that's a public API. But ultimately, there is an API where you can actually do you can do orders that are via their API. So my guess is it's not far away for that to go down. But for a lot of the Genie and now Gem.xyz is the competitor. I feel like it's only a matter of time before it's built in. We definitely do see also interesting. There are arbitrage opportunities in here between this and OpenSea. Most of the arbitrage actually is that OpenSea, some of the prices on LooksRare, and it may not be an arbitrage, but some of the prices on LooksRare tend to be slightly above what OpenSea is. And I believe that's just due to the fact that there tends to be liquidity issues on here. So like you're just not getting the same volume of demand. So people have to set a higher floor price to justify listing.
Well,
on this
here's some
platform.
alpha for the LooksRare and the arbitrage in general. So there's something you can do to take advantage of the situation that unfortunately many see themselves in on OpenSea, where they lock an asset, and on LooksRare it's not locked. So people will sell it to you at an even cheaper value on LooksRare because they can't sell it on OpenSea at all. So if you make collection-wide offers on LooksRare at 50% of the floor, you may get some hits. It's like fishing. I did it with crypto chicks twice. When the floor was 0.6, I put out 2 offers collection wide at 0.3, and I got both of them. And the fact that the floor itself ran up to, almost 3 ETH is outside of the point, but I was able to get it at half price at the time because people were just willing to say, okay, I'll dump that. And because I can't sell it on OpenSea and I don't want to take the time to list. And so, I was able to get it at cheaper prices, as well as getting, cash back from LooksRare for trading on their platform.
That's
Nice.
pretty fascinating. Which items was that you ended up bidding on?
Crypto checks.
I like that. Okay, that's pretty cool.
We don't talk about offers enough. Like Jesse, who comes on our morning Twitter space, Jesse Halfin, he talks about that a lot. That's a big part of his strategy. But like for the people that come from Nifty Gateway, which is where me and Speculator come from, offers was a big part of it. And you could do those, they called them global offers, where let's say you wanted this piece by like Fuck Render or Ferocious, you would say, I'll pay X amount for it. And people will take it because that's like literally an email that they receive. And they're like, you click this button and you get, $3,000. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody maybe he's had a beer or two and he's just like, all right, screw it. Give me the $3,000. And that's interesting though. Can you even put a global offer in on a collection on OpenSea? You can't?
Oh, no.
No.
Sorry. LooksRare, you can't.
No, you
so
can't.
That's like a totally different dynamic that I didn't even know about. Wow.
Exactly.
And what, you have to have enough wrapped ETH in your wallet on for a single offer on LooksRare. But if I have 0.3, I can put out 2.3 offers. The first one will get accepted, and then I just can't get the second one accepted.
I don't think that even makes sense to do that. Like if you only have 0.3, you're putting out a global. I think my camera just died. Hold on one sec.
Oh no. Everyone was enjoying your ape avatar so much. I've never seen so many people like, yo, where do I get an ape like that?
That's the real alpha they're looking for. They actually specified. So who did you, well, actually, I prefer that you don't share who that is, but so we can get one first, but you might as well. The people want to know where can you go buy these?
There's a guy named Mo Pete on Twitter. He's an ape and he makes these, so you can go check him out.
Mo Pete.
Mo Pete, MOPEET.
Okay, Mo Pete. While Benjammin gets his camera back, oh, there he is.
There he is.
We saw a quick face docs there. Anyway, all right. So Ben, so what are you looking at right now? What is the story of Ben's, brain looking at the NFT market this second, February 2022?
Well, I see there's an issue with whitelisting.
Yeah.
And there's a problem that I haven't seen a solution for yet. And so a friend of mine who's a dev who actually built the Dizzy Dragon website for us, he hit me up and he was telling me about this idea that he had to help solve an issue with whitelisting. And so I can't say too much about the specifics yet because it's still a work in progress and I don't want people to front run it. But it's one of the things I'm working on is to have a project with 1,000 supply that we're going to be revolutionizing the way that people do whitelisting. And I think it's going to be something that really catches on. But we want to do it with a short supply at first to be more of an exclusive community surrounding it as a proof of concept. But I'll definitely tell you guys about it. I'll keep you updated. Can't say too much here. But with among that, I'm also building like my own branded community, like the Jammin community kind of thing. And that's going to be one of the things housed within it. So I'm in build mode for the most part. I have a few other things that I'm working on. So that's why it's a little difficult for me to always be catching mints. But I love this. It's not work to me. I enjoy every second of it. And I literally schedule time in my day just to go over, studying projects and reading white papers and all that shit. A lot of it's from an investment perspective as well, like not just buying the NFT itself, but knowing about projects early to invest in, with things like that, or to help advise and things like that. So when people talk about, there's people in the know, like, of course there is. And like people reach out for help with their projects and to hire people. And, how do you hire people without telling about the project? Like not everybody's signing NDAs, like in Web 2. Some people ask, for a friend DA where they, it's just like, you don't have to sign anything, but there's an expectation that you won't say anything. But for the most part, like with Creeps, I talked with them about the project and discussed with them and walked them through some ideas and stuff that I had. But at the end of the day, like that doesn't mean that project's going to be successful, right? Like I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of project founders that, like, if every one of those projects was and very successful, this market would be a lot different. So it doesn't matter to me as much that people are talking with each other about projects that are coming up before others know about it, because we do a lot of work and spend a lot of time reading and learning and talking with people about shit. So just, the fact that people are willing to read and people are willing to send them stuff because they're willing to read. That's how I got started with a lot of my consulting, in that I was just offering to, interview founders and just talk with them about their projects and, learn what's good and what's bad. And so that turned into, me doing that professionally. But people knew that I was willing to review their projects, give them honest feedback. And if it was something that I thought that I can help with, give advice on. And yeah.
So a couple of things. We're in preliminary conversations with you, but can we say that Nifty Portal holders are going to get access to whatever you're building on the whitelist front?
I can say that there's a lot of things that I'm building, and Nifty Portal will definitely be involved in some way.
There we go. Check out that NFT if you haven't picked one up.
That's a sexy NFT, by the way.
Thank you. We're working on the next one for whales, actually, which 10 of these can be burned for. So we're excited about that.
Nice.
More details to come on that front. But the second part of the second question thing I was going to mention was Pio had brought up a project which consistently continues to underperform, like most of the projects that he's really bullish on. And I guess maybe, did you pull that up to ask Ben what his take was on that project? Or
yeah, I wanted to see if Ben,
because it just keeps going down, and Pio just says, well, I'll keep buying it as the floor price goes down. He's going to end up the only holder of this soon enough. So
Ben, what do you think of that? You seen this at all, Crash Test Joyride?
No, I haven't, but just generally, I would say when you have conviction in something and the price drops, it's not always the best idea to just buy blindly, but to look look at metrics. Like, so you're showing me art, the art's cool, but I would be looking a little bit deeper. So the first thing I see there is 50% unique ownership, which is great. Anything above 45% is bullish to me. Anything above 50 to 55% is really bullish. Volume traded 1K ETH. How much time is that 1K over? Like, when did that launch?
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So that's really good. And then the other thing I would do is go to nftgo.io.
nftgo.io.
Okay. What's the story here?
Type in the collection.
Yep. Crash test. Here we go.
Yep. Click on that. Click on holders right in the middle of the page.
Yeah,
Scroll down a
I'm
little
gonna go
bit.
widescreen here. One sec. Here we
where
go.
it says
Scroll down.
holder. Yeah.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit. Look at holding amount distribution. So this is going to show you what percentage of the entire supply people are holding in their wallets. So 64% of the people holding this NFT have 1, 25% have 2 to 3. So this is about 89 to 90% or so. So for me, if you're hitting those barriers of around 90% from 1 to 3, it's bullish for a project. Add that with the 50% unique ownership, 1,000 ETH volume, and only a 0.1 floor. I would say that if there's some upside in utility or roadmap with this project, it probably is a good buy at this point.
Would you look at that, Nick? Would you look at that?
Why are you saying that because you're saying that he's saying this is a bullish indicator, and thus PO now, just based on 2 charts, thinks that he should dump his entire retirement account in this project. I mean, go for it, PO. You're welcome to do that.
Well, remember, I left a caveat at the end there. If there's some kind of long-term roadmap with a vision, then yeah, I could see it. If it's based on just that art, I might have to look a little bit further. Scroll down a little more. So just go back to where you were looking.
And
Absolutely.
one thing I just want to add here, though, is it doesn't track ERC 1155 properly. So when you go to our project, for example, it shows everybody owns 1, which I know definitively is not the case. I also noticed that Etherscan was running into issues with that as well.
Go to holding period distribution. Yeah, I'm not sure about how the ERC 1155s work, but I read an article the other day. People should be using ERC 721As to save gas, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's one created by the Toy Boogers team. I did a modified version of that as well. But that's if you do ERC 721. We went with 1155 just because I like to be difficult. And so, but it also is actually pretty cheap on the gas side, where ERC 1155 is not optimized, is on the resale gas cost. It does cost a little more, but we implemented something so you don't have to pay to list on OpenSea.
I like that. And you being a dev, you can add unique utility to it that, you could have your community ask features for that, of another project that might not be able to be the case. So that's really cool as well. And I've been watching the growth of the Nifty since day one, since we first started talking about it. And I love what you guys are doing.
Thanks, man.
We appreciate it. We'll be acquiring NFT Go so that you have so that you can type in our domain every time you come on this show. But
no problem. And then I'll be acquiring you then.
Okay, great.
that works. That works.
That works. Our valuation is quite high, but we're totally open to this.
So this holding period distribution is a really fantastic chart, even though it's simple. These charts are simple, but they tell stories. So for a project that's this seems, it's obviously 30 days or less, so it's a newer project. So there's not a lot you can use this chart for. But if you're looking to analyze projects that have been around for a while, if you have a high percentage of those 30-day to 3-month or greater, that's a really bullish sign as well, because that's where people are holding a lot.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of different things that I look at when I'm evaluating a project. This is just one of them, but this is a site that's very useful.
Would you say that it's safe to say, like, it's tough because we don't have enough of a sample size, and when this project is, say, like 60 days old, for example, we'll have a much better understanding. But given that it's under 30 days old and 90% have been holding for, I mean, it's tough. I wish they had like 14 to 30 days as a metric too.
I agree.
But
I agree.
I mean,
I think they should have it should be filterable so you can choose, but it's a newer site. I'm sure that they're working on things. But go to flips.finance.
Flips.finance?
Yeah.
We've just acquired them as well. Okay.
Ben's just giving us all the 6 sites that we've never heard of before.
I've heard of flips.finance. Okay. I saw it on another video, but we weren't the one to do that video. So Pio's working on that one.
I'm working on that.
See if they even have it on there. They don't have everything. It's not automatic, but
oh no, they don't.
No.
Okay. No crash test.
No. Well, it might not be old enough or or just known enough. But I use this site because the listings, they track listings, and it's really useful. So you could see like the supply percent. You could see how many are listed. Like look at Hape. Look at that shit. So look at the 1-day listings on the right.
So
1-day
okay.
delistings, you're saying?
No. Well, this is listing. Just go back real quick to compare to the rest. So if you look where it says scroll, zoom out, please. So yeah, just leave it right here. So if you look at
delistings,
delistings.
Yeah, that's what.
Yes, yeah. So see how it's plus? That means listing. So if it's minus, you see the greens like the Azuki.
That means they're being delisted versus listed.
Yes. So
and you want that to be green. You want people
not
listing this shit.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, what you're looking for is the supply listed to be 16% or lower. That's the sweet spot that I found. And so anything above that starts to get more bearish. And when you look at Hate Prime with 30% listed and 1,200 of those have been in the last day, that's an incredibly bearish sign for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be buying here.
But like for instance, look at what's number 10 under World of Women. Cool monkeys. Those are great bullish indicators. There's only 4% listed and people are still delisting.
I'm so pissed about that one. Can we skip over that project? I sold one of the rarest ones. I mean, I made like 1.3 ETH on it, but which is a small win. But it was a small win, and I probably could have done that for 5 ETH or something like that had I just stuck around a little bit. But
it's okay, Nick.
Your boy's impatient. You know what? This feature, I've been wanting to do the listings tracking. This is going on our roadmap.
Some of the most bullish stuff I'm seeing here. But thank you so much, by the way, for bringing up this site, Ben. I'm seeing Worldwide Webland looking pretty good with 4.7% listed and 6 delisted in the past 24 hours. I'm looking at Cool Monkeys is fantastic.
Short supply listed by lowest to highest.
Absolutely. And Rug Radio's looking really good.
Yeah. The lowest to highest. And so if you could find projects in here that are not staking, that's super bullish. So if you're getting 5% of listings and it's not people staking it, that's really, really good.
Rug Radio looking good.
Should we be buying Killer Girlfriend here?
I'm not seeing Killer Girlfriend on the list.
When you sort it, you go to the homepage.
So 28% listed, but 200.
No, scroll up. The way you want to sort it though is look at number of delistings.
Well, you can. I was just showing something specific in that the lowest supply listed projects are typically ones that are staked because they're taken out of the contract, but ones that are low supply listed but don't have staking mechanism, that's really bullish because that means people are just not listing it. So like the rugs, Treeverse, maybe Links DAO, Webland. So like all of those there that don't have staking, like that just means people are not listing it. And if you see people are even delisting at any kind of pace, like look at Webland, the floor's gone up. There's under 5% listing and people are still delisting. That's a pretty bullish sign.
Yeah, that's
so
what
Sorry.
I was just going to say, because like someone in the audience said Creeps 0.99% listed. That's because of the staking.
Yeah.
But with Worldwide Webland, with Rug Radio, there's no staking with Treeverse. So that's the distinction that Ben was making, is that if there isn't a staking mechanic and you have these like less than 5% listed, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Like one that I know of that's a pretty low supply listed is Knights of Degen, and they don't have staking. I'm not sure where specifically it is on the list, but last I checked, I think it was like 7 or 8%.
Knights of Degen right here, 5.26%, but 25 listed.
So
yeah, but that's okay. That's okay because like think about out of 10,000, there's only 25. Like, and look at what Hate Beast is, like what 1,800 or something,
1,200, 30% listed. That is a dumpster fire. Holy shit.
So I want to just mention something here. The context through which this makes sense is from the speculative side of things. If you're looking for flipping, then these tools become much more useful. If you're a buy and hold sort of person, then something like this is not slightly, it's much less relevant, if not but it does show
Whoa,
you
shots
more.
fired, bro. God damn.
I'm just saying.
Get used to it, Ben. This is how Nick discusses things. He's
Bro,
like,
I'm a
yeah, you thought
flipper
this
and a
was really,
holder.
yeah, exactly. Nick's like, you thought this
I
was
did not
really good. but-
categorize Ben as a flipper. No, I'm saying, look, and also we're going to be adding some of this data as well, only because the listings is probably, I agree from this, one of the most valuable things that you can track. And this is also phenomenal to include in our email digest. But Ben is always dropping that fire alpha.
Yeah, apparently. Sappy Seals, by the way. Who knew Sappy Seals was going to perform so?
Your
Seals?
boy Dave.
Dave's taking.
Holla
Dave's
at me.
taking. Oh, okay.
Come holla at me. You know,
But
that's
still 3% is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. Anonymous has staking. Head DAO has, yeah, you stake Head DAO, I think.
Yeah, you'll probably see a lot of like DAO type stuff on there.
Full send, man. Full send looking good.
That's I mean 173 ETH volume. The floor is 1.73 ETH, so that's real good.
This is flips.finance, ladies and gentlemen. It's a cool site. Go ahead, Nick.
I was going to see, are there any other projects that we want to cover? What are the ones that you're looking for right now that are exciting? And then we can like wrap after that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Invisible Friends is one that's up there. Just it's been so fucking hyped, and I have like mood rollers and slim hoods and stuff that I'm just waiting on to get the whitelist for Invisible Friends. And I would say one I mean there's a whole like meta coming out, like the Tasty Bones cereal club, star catchers, that they have the doodles themes like palette to it, which like I think is great. I love that palette. It's so great. But those are some that I'm looking forward to. There's a Squiggles project that's going to be pretty high. If you go to mintyscore.com, you'll see ones that are pretty high in demand, or should be high in demand.
You got all the sites.
Oh, bro, there's yeah.
Is it
we've only covered a
Minty
few
Score?
things here. Mintyscore.com. Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see some like the listings of the highest scores that they give projects.
So Invisible Friends.
Karafuru is 96.
Well, that just sold out this morning. So that one absolutely crushed it.
Right.
I was pissed I missed that one. But I wasn't even that one wasn't really heavily on our radar, but then it just like took off, and the artist behind it is really talented. I checked him out on Instagram, and actually randomly came across him while I was we've been trying to bring on a creative director. And so in the process of that, came across him, saw the project, and then also saw the overlap because it was trending on the Nifty. So I was like, oh my God. Like
it was on here as like a high ranking. So those top 4 right there that you see, like those are all going to be like real high in demand projects.
Yeah, Dape is Doodle Apes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That team reached out. So the Doodle Apes, I believe, actually maybe not. There's a bunch of derivatives of doodles at this point.
Well, Invisible Friends is got to be the 2 anticipated project. So Ben, you're probably going to get on the whitelist for that?
No, I will. Cuz I have 2 slim hoods and 2 mood rollers. And if you have 4 of any of them, you get automatic guaranteed access. And I think there's only about 800 people or so who have that at the moment. There's only about, so do you know how the tiered system works for them, for their whitelist?
It's a point system based on your ownership of mood rollers and slim hoods, correct?
Yeah. It's a fantastic system. I really like it. And there's different levels of access that you get depending on if you have 4, 3, 2, or 1. And the last I checked, there was only like 3,300 people who had at least 1.
Well, there you go. So you're going to get on the whitelist. I haven't told Nifty Nick this, but since Benjammin's on the show, we have a special guest, and since we've got a solid amount of people watching the show, I guess I might as well break the news to Nick right now. Is that I'm actually on the Slim Hoods whitelist.
Nice. That dropped a few months ago.
Oh, sorry. The Invisible Friends whitelist.
That's a good one.
And how did you get on that?
Someone just gave me a spot.
You're talking about someone who may be a Discord mod in our community?
He's not a Discord mod in our Discord.
Technically, I believe he is.
I don't think he is. And I didn't ask for it. It was just volunteered.
Hey, well, thanks for flexing that. Wow, this was great. Hey, Ben, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, Nick, thanks for joining us.
Remember, smash that subscribe, lick that like. Just not on your phone. It's gross. We've actually seen people hospitalized as a result of licking the like button. It's dangerous out there. So, and shout out to Ben for joining. P.O., we don't really care if you're on the whitelist. No one cares. Okay, no one wants to hear about that bullshit. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Smash that subscribe.
What a guest. Thanks, Ben.
Anytime.
Like and subscribe, everyone. Follow Ben on Twitter, 100%.
We should also, I should just say, Ben, we should have you come in and just chat with the community at some point. You're already in the Discord.
Yeah.
But it's like a double value thing here.
Bro, I love the Nifty Portal.
There we go. It's probably one of the best projects out there right now. I'm just
wait, hold on. All right, here we go. Shout out to Nifty Portal. This is your boy Johnny Altcoin. Love the project, love the people, love the Discord. If you don't have one yet, what are you waiting for?
Wow. We'll just wrap on that. Thank you.
That's the drop. I'm going to have that on here.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Pio took that from someone else. He really likes that that sound effect. Hey, thanks for joining, everybody.